There is something nobody tells you when you are young, that the thing you are running toward might be the same thing keeping you from ever arriving. Think about that for a second. You have probably spent years, maybe your whole life, doing everything right, hitting targets, crossing things off list, waiting for the feeling that was supposed to come, and sometimes it does come, for a little while though, but then it fades, and you are left standing there wondering why the finish line keeps moving. That's what we are going to sit with tonight. Not solve, not fix, just sit with. Because I think most of us have been chasing something without ever stopping to ask whether the chase itself might be the problem. When you were a kid, probably had a version of it, some picture in your head of what life was supposed to look like once things fell into place. Maybe it was a job, a relationship, a certain number in your bank account, a house, an achievement that would finally make you feel like you'd made it. And the strange thing is, nobody had to teach you this. It just arrived. The idea that happiness was somewhere ahead of you, that you would recognize it when you got there, that life would feel different once you crossed that invisible line. So you started moving toward it. And that's not a bad thing. That forward movement, that hunger, is part of what makes us human. It's driven almost everything worth creating in this world. But somewhere along the way, most people notice something uncomfortable. They get the thing, and then they wait, and then they realize, almost with disbelief, that they don't feel how they expected to feel. There's a word for this in psychology, hedonic adaptation. But forget the term, you already know the feeling. You work for years to reach a goal, the promotion, the relationship, the apartment you always wanted. And for a while, it's wonderful. You feel it, the warmth of arrival. But then the life goes quiet again, and your mind starts drifting towards the next thing. This isn't weakness. It's not ingratitude either, and it's not a character flaw. It's just what the human mind does. There is a part of you, a very old, very stubborn part, that was built to want, not to have, to want. Because wanting kept your ancestors moving, searching and surviving. Contentment in the wilderness of 1,000 years ago could get you killed. So, you have a mind that is good at reaching goals and almost immediately resetting. So it can want the next one, which means if you have been waiting for happiness to arrive and stay, you have been asking your mind to do something it was never designed to do. But here is where it gets interesting, because most people respond to this realization by trying harder. They think, I just haven't found the right thing yet, the right person, the right career, the right version of my life. So they keep searching, and sometimes they find it, and it's beautiful, but just for a while. And then the quiet comes again, and they search again. This is the cycle, and once you see it, you start to notice it everywhere, in the people around you, in the culture, in the constant hum of wanting that lies underneath almost everything we do. We renovate the kitchen and feel great for a month. We lose the weight and feel amazing, and then one day realize we are unhappy in a thinner body. We fall in love and feel whole, and then slowly, painfully, start feeling incomplete again. Not because something went wrong, but because that's what the cycle does. It doesn't care how much you achieve, it just keeps moving the line. Now, here's the part I want you to really stay with, because there's a strange discovery, and I don't know if I can even describe it properly, that some people stumble onto usually when they have been through enough cycles to feel genuinely tired of them. It's not something you can think your way to. It's more like something you notice when you stop for long enough. The discovery is this: there are moments, small, quiet, unremarkable moments, when you are not chasing anything, when something in you settles, and in that settling, there is something that feels not exciting, not triumphant, not even particularly happy in the way we usually mean the word, but it feels real, more real sometimes than anything the chase ever delivered. You know these moments, they sneak up on you. A conversation that goes nowhere but feels like everything. A morning when you just sat with your coffee and didn't reach for your phone. A walk where you noticed the light doing something strange and beautiful on the pavement and felt just for a moment that nothing was missing. Moments weren't the result of achieving something. They were the result of not needing something. Just for a breathe, just for a second. I want to be careful here, because this is the part where it's easy to turn into advice. To say, just be present, just be grateful, just stop wanting. But that's not what I'm saying. Wanting is human. Pursuing things matters. Goals are real and beautiful and worth having. What I'm pointing at is something more subtle. It's the question of whether your happiness is being held hostage by outcomes. Whether you have unknowingly arranged your inner life so that you are only allowed to feel okay once certain conditions are met. Once you get the thing, once you fix the problem, once things are different than they are right now. And if that's the structure, and for most of us it is, then no amount of achievement ever fully works. Because you are always living in the future version of your life, never quite arriving in this one. There is a version of you, and maybe you have met this version briefly, in those small quiet moments, who isn't waiting for anything, but because you have given up, not because you have stopped caring, but because something has softened just enough to let what's already here be enough. Just for now, just for this. That version of you doesn't need the next thing to feel whole. And that doesn't mean the next thing isn't worth pursuing. It just means the pursuing comes from different place, from curiosity instead of desperation, from desire instead of lack, from fullness instead of hunger. There's something between reaching for something because you want it and reaching for something because you can't feel okay without. One of those feels like freedom. The other is kind of prison, a very comfortable, socially acceptable, endlessly distracting prison. But a prison is all the same. I don't know where you are right now as you are listening to this. Maybe you are somewhere between one goal and the next. Maybe you are at top of the mountain you climbed years and wondering why it doesn't feel the way you thought it would. Maybe you are in the middle of chasing something and feeling that familiar mix of hope and anxiety that the chase always brings. Wherever you are, it makes sense. All of it makes sense. We were handed this chase before we were old enough to question it. And for most of us, questioning it feels dangerous. Like if we stop running, something terrible will catch up with us. But what if that thing behind you isn't something terrible? What if it's just yourself? The problem with chasing happiness isn't that happiness doesn't exist. It's that happiness, real happiness, the quiet, durable kind, not the spike of achievement or the rush of getting what you want, that kind of happiness doesn't live in the future. It can be chased. It can only be noticed. And noticing it doesn't require anything spectacular. No great accomplishment, no perfect version of your life. Just a moment of not needing things to be different than they are, and then another, and then, if you are very lucky, a life slowly saved by those moments. You can keep chasing. Most of us will, but maybe tonight, just for a little while, you can also rest.